Mickie James is set to return to action here on Monday Night Raw.
You demanded more opportunities for the women. Because of all of you, 30-second matches became main events. And because of all of you, divas became the superstars they were born to be.
Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is DS.
And the Sriracha Muchacha, Paloma Star.
You are serving today. Oh my god. Looking all pure and cute, bud.
I am so pure and cute. What are you talking about?
5 minutes after, we're going to be like, cute WWE.
This is bullshit.
Let's get right into it. There's so much things that happened. Let's jump into SmackDown first. So, the tri-brand Battle Royale that everyone was looking forward to. It started off kind of cute because Sasha and Bayley, they were like, we do all the jobs in WWE. So she was like, I'm going to do announcing too. So she started announcing each people, which I thought it was fun for itself. What did you think?
It was cute. I like how the little note cards and all that stuff. It was just like, basically, how else can we make Sasha and Bayley more annoying? Like, oh, I have an idea. Let's do this. And they killed it at it. Like, that was a really good little bit that they did.
I did think, though, that Iconics and Shotzi and Tegan and Lacey looked like a joke.
Yeah.
They're obviously being insulted, but they're just like, okay, I will not do anything about it.
Because I'm a face.
They're just all like staring at them until Asuka came out. What a swerve.
Oh my gosh, what a surprise. I even enjoyed when like, that wasn't in our notes. That was really cute and funny. Like it goes back to them like doing all the jobs, but I did not expect. I'm like, wait, isn't she already wrestling?
Yeah, exactly. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. What spot sticks out to you inside the match?
The fact that people kept on getting eliminated by people who are already eliminated. I know that's not exactly the spots that you were probably asking for, but oh my gosh. Like, I know anytime they have a battle royal, that happens, but at this time, I don't know why, it was just super obvious. Like, how can you get eliminated by somebody who just was eliminated? They're not even in the match anymore. So dumb. But I love the whole spot where Asuka landed on Bayley and Sasha. That was really cool and creative. That was fun. I was surprised Tegan Nox lasted that long, but I was like, are we going to get a surprise? Like, 'cause, you know, I said like somebody random, like Shotzi. I'm like, oh, we're going to get somebody random, like Tegan Nox. So I was surprised she lasted that long.
Tegan is a surprise for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, I think
overall, she gets a lot of stuff in NXT too. I'm like warming up to her, but I'm not there like fully with her. Like honestly, I would be more interested in seeing Shotzi, if anything, take that spot.
Tegan Nox is good. She's just missing something. Either missing something or just something hasn't lined up yet, but she'll get there. She's just missing something that doesn't necessarily make me want to see what happens next. She's like, oh, okay, there she is. I was also surprised how fast Naomi, well, like I thought she's gonna be final two for
so
sure.
Annoying.
What? She's eliminated already? What? That was my pick. But after that, I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it was almost like WWE was mocking us.
Yeah.
It was doing hashtag Naomi deserves better. Commentary was like, well, the hashtag didn't help. And I'm like,
yeah, that was the shade of it.
there was a really cute Iconics spot with Ruby and Liv having a little spot with Iconics. I legit thought it was Shotzi, but for me, my favorite spot was Bianca Belair eliminating Tamina. That was great.
Great face off for sure. I do agree with you.
Yeah, and the eliminating spot has some lineage of Beth Phoenix. It was so good.
That was like real two powerhouses. Those two women are strong, and I love that they did have to have that face off. That spear looked really good too. So I was like, okay, this is something I want to see in the future.
And lastly, Dana Brooke playing the Santino spot. Honestly, I liked it, and I kind of wanted to be like, okay, can Dana just win this? But we're like, we knew that she was not going to win.
Yeah, I want Dana to go all out, like that type of gimmick, that type of style. Just go for it. Like, I know she's been leaning into it a little bit more, but I think she's actually quite entertaining.
Oh,
so
she
I think
is.
all out in that like sense of gimmick, go for it. I think it'll be really cool to see, watch what she can do in that aspect.
And to everyone's surprise, was it a surprise? I don't know. I was kind of shook because Asuka won, eliminating Shayna Baszler. Okay, let's talk about like good side of it. What do we like about Asuka winning here?
I feel like she's the only one that could actually beat her, like because there hasn't really been anybody who's been built up the last forever months that could actually seem like a real threat or real competitor. While it would be awesome to have Dana Brooke or Shotzi as a random, quite honestly, come on. Like when we sit down and think about it, that's not a real competitor, or at least built up competitor. So at least like Asuka at least makes sense of having history. They have a program. Like she's the only one like, oh yeah, she really can beat her. There's gonna be another great match. So that's another good thing.
After Asuka lost to Kairi Sane, and kind of the booking was a little bizarre about like how she was sending off Kairi. It was bizarre. So in last couple of weeks, I thought Asuka kind of looked kind of like not as good as Sasha and Bayley looked, I'll say. This definitely gives more agency to her going into SummerSlam. She is going into SummerSlam pretty strong, so I did like that.
There's just not enough women in the title picture for it to make sense to be anybody else but Asuka, which is the good thing and the bad thing.
I also think this writing is just putting Asuka in such an awful place. Like this happened last time when SmackDown was promoting there's going to be a special guest, right? Everyone got so excited. Everyone was wondering if this is Evolution, if there's any return, main roster call up, but it was just Asuka. And even though people love Asuka, when you build expectations like that, people will be disappointed. And I think it's the same for this tri-brand Battle Royale, because WWE gave people the opportunity to think about other alternative. I think it's difficult to beat that expectation.
It really is. Remember when Pokemon Go first came out and it was all the rage, and then it was around the holidays and there was a Pikachu with a little Santa hat, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, I need to get Pikachu with Santa hat. But it was the exact same Pikachu that always started off with so low CP. You're still excited it's Pikachu, but it's just Pikachu with the Santa hat. Excited for Asuka, just Asuka with 2 matches.
I was actually really excited for like potential matches, maybe with Mickie James. You can say that it's my fault for imagining and expecting for great things, but you know, I was disappointed. It is a great feat of WWE to make me disappointed to see more Asuka.
I think they just booked themselves into a corner, quite honestly, because it was such small pool of women who actually make sense, honestly, to go for the title that it's like, well, I guess we'll do Asuka, but I think that they might unify the women's title belts.
I don't want that.
Me either, but I just can't. I'm just trying to think of like why else they would necessarily do that. Quite honestly, I'm just tired of seeing the double champions. Even if like say Asuka wins both of them, which would be awesome, but I'm just tired of seeing the double champions. Why have so many belts if all but 2-3 people are going to hold it? It kind of defeats the purpose of having that many belts. If they're going to do that, then I guess unify the titles. I mean, I don't know. You know, it just sucks. Like, once again, WWE booked themselves into this weird predicament that no matter what the answer or the outcome is, it was probably not going to be the right one.
Let's move to a non-title match that's happening at SummerSlam. The storyline, it is Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and it is officially announced hair versus hair.
I legit thought for a little bit they're gonna use your graphic that you made for the thumbnail one. When they started talking about it, I'm like, they better give them credit if they do. But I legit thought they're gonna use that. But I'm so glad it's official. A lot of people don't like it or don't want it, but finally it's a storyline with a gimmick match that makes sense. This is the stipulation match that actually makes sense because of the storyline that's going on. I can't wait for it.
Oh, totally. Like, it makes so much sense. And what do you think of the promos from both of them? I think Sonya obviously was great as
obviously, like Sonya killed it as always. She's definitely stronger all around, but Mandy surprised me a little bit. She brought some actual emotion, and I actually felt like I got to know her a little bit better when she said she worked 3 jobs, put herself through college, and still managed to win a bikini competition, you know, bodybuilding stuff. So that made me get to know her, because this was like the most I ever even get to know her, even though she wasn't tough enough. Yeah. But it was nice to kind of like see behind that and her bring some more emotion to it. And I think this storyline is still on top of people's minds, even if it was gone for a while, because of how good the promos have been.
Agreed. I think this was definitely best promo that Mandy Rose cut. Yeah. But I still got a little bit of a thing where I'm like, oh my god, I'm so pretty, but I was still hard life. Like, tell me about scrubbing some toilet. I don't know. Like, I needed a little bit more to be connected. But I think it was
at least it was something.
Good effort.
It was something, which it was more than we could say lately, honestly. Or not even lately, like even before. Like if you would have told me like a few years from ago that Mandy Rose was going to be cutting even this level of promos, I would have like laughed at you. So like it's definitely shows improvement for sure from her. But I totally think Sonya is going to lose because, I mean, while as much as I would love to see Mandy Rose bald and see how she could pull that off, it's no fun to have the face shave their head because it's going to be funny seeing Sonya come out trying to cover it. Like, I don't know if you remember this, but when Kurt Angle got his hair shaved and he used to come out with like a headpiece with a wig on. CM Punk used to come out with the mask on. Vince McMahon came out with the do-rag. It's always funny trying to see the heel cover it up or see how they act. It's no really payoff if the face loses.
And I think Mandy will still look great with bald.
Oh, for sure. Oh my God. Yeah, she'll look great in anything.
By the way, speaking of Mandy, have you seen Mandy's new like photo shoot? She has a new gear in her new photo shoot.
Oh really? I haven't seen it. Oh no, I don't like it. It's very default. Like you said, like when you're making a character in WWE 2K and the very first thing before you do any modifications to it, that's what it is.
Maybe she wanted to kind of make it less about the visuals and she just wanted to be known for her talent. I don't know. Let's move to the whole Alexa Bliss situation. So Alexa Bliss, after last week's little confusing Beauty and the Beast moment, had a sit-down interview talking about her love story with Braun and how they had a thing going on. I don't even know how to explain this. What do you think?
I don't know. I felt like it was a Maury show. Like, you know, in Maury, whenever they pre-interview somebody and they like behind the scenes and they're asking them questions and putting in like slicing in clips of what's happened. That's kind of what it seemed like to me. It was like a Maury backstage interview.
At least that part, it made me kind of understand like, okay, see, this is the backstory. Okay, get it. Like, so what's going to happen now? And then the segment afterwards was just so confusing.
I don't know where they're going. I just wanted to get there already. I think maybe it's like a double turn. Like, I think this might make the Fiend more of a face and Braun Strowman more of a heel.
It's just throwing me off because last week I thought Alexa was in the control of Fiends, but then this week Braun is kind of under control. Everyone's crazy in this storyline where it doesn't make it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's like what kind of crazy? But I think the whole thing with the Fiend is like anybody who he like wrestles or messes with turns, you know, heel the next time. So maybe that's where they're going. But I really don't know if it's gonna be like a whole like Beauty and the Beast or if like the Fiend is gonna control Alexa's or Alexa gonna control the Fiend. I don't know.
Granted, I don't have much reference to other Fiend storylines, so I don't really have a full insight into it. But you know, when there's like a story, there should be a Joker and a Batman. There should be like
yeah.
each other. But in this storyline, everyone's a Joker. So I'm like, I have no idea what is going on.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Am I the one that was really weirded out by how she didn't make any noise when Braun like pulled her up?
I know, and not only any noise, but she didn't move, she didn't kick, she didn't do anything. And also, she's tiny enough and he's strong enough where she could like wiggle around or try to get out or kick or something where she'll be fine. I just thought it was just really funny. She was like, light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board. Like, that's what she was thinking the whole time while she was up there. But yeah, she's like, okay, this is fine. I'll just post for you and I'll just sit here and like not say anything, struggle or like put me down. Or
I don't know if she's under control or I am confused. But you know what? Interested to know what happens next. Let's move to Raw, and starting from the whole Bianca Belair and Zelina situation. So we found a security footage that Zelina was the one who poisoned Montez Ford.
This makes no sense.
I mean, it makes too much sense.
That's what I mean. It makes no sense because it's too obvious. Like, I was like, oh, okay. And also, if they have security cameras all of a sudden, why don't they have security cameras of everything else that's been crazy and that's been happening? The payoff was like, wah, wah.
So storyline perspective, like the face automatically knew who it was. They all thought it was Zelina. There has to be some kind of swerve as a storyline element to make it a kind of a surprising moment, but there was no swerve, no surprise. It was Zelina the entire time.
It was no payoff at all. It's like, oh.
So it was pretty disappointing, even though Zelina was slaying with that cape or whatever that was. She slays every time with her.
Her looks, oh my gosh, she's great.
And then we've got Natalya versus Mickie James. The highly anticipated return of the 6-time women's champion, Mickie James. She didn't get an entrance. The match was interfered by Seth Rollins, and she got a count-out finish.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. There's no other way to say it, no way around it. It's bullshit. This is how you treat legit a legend who's been with you for how long, busted her ass, worked so hard. This is how you treat her. And not only that, but just last week they were like the 6-time women's champion, the legend, she's been, and then you hype her up and do this great intro and you give her that. It's bullshit. It's an afterthought in the background. Like, it's like being with a company, like when somebody's with a company for like 30 years and for your 30-year anniversary you get like a watch or like something like that. Like all you mentioned, the no entrance, the short, the count out, the Seth Rollins interruption, like all those are bad, but at least if they wanted to just do one, you know, give her an entrance, have her have the moment, or give her a longer match. I just don't understand why they had to shit on both of them, quite honestly.
I don't understand how this, I was livid watching this because it was ridiculous. It was like as if we were in like late 2000s.
I don't understand the idea, the concept behind this at all. Like, it's her first match back in months. Seriously, what was the creative behind this? What was the mindset? I don't understand.
It doesn't serve anyone, really.
Even Seth Rollins didn't do anything for him. We want to be invested in somebody if that's what you give us. You don't allow us to be invested in if that's what you present us. It doesn't make any sense.
So I just talked to Mickie James this morning. It was an interesting interview. What happened in Paris?
Happened. Let them eat cake. I don't know if I should speak because I'm hot about it. I just love wrestling. I love wrestling. You know what? I hope to remind them why I am the baddest bitch in the game.
Honestly, I had to rework all my interview questions and everything because it's just like this threw me off so much.
Totally.
What the f-? I was gonna be like, congrats on your first win.
How does it feel to have your first match back? Like shit, I'm sure. Jeez. Like, I'm sure you had all these questions like, oh, you're back. How does it feel? Congratulations on the next win. Where do you think you're going next? And no, this is what she gets.
We'll see. I'll try to have the interview out this week, so we will see how Mickie thought about the whole match. But we're not happy about it. It was disgraceful.
Really very disappointing.
Disrespectful.
They would never, ever do that to a guy.
To a guy? Never.
Ever. No matter who it was. If like Eugene returned.
Not Eugene.
You know it's true. You know it's true. They would never do that to him.
They would never do it to male legends, ever.
No, and that's the thing that pisses me off the most, is they would never, ever do this to any male counterpart. But because they're women, of course, they're like, whatever. But dumb.
Bullshit. Dumb bullshit. Right after this, we were treated with a promo with Sasha Banks and Bayley, and they started talking about how it's actually good for them that Asuka is having 2 matches in the night. Because, like, logically thinking, it is bad for Asuka to have 2 matches in a row. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, totally.
They set the orders of how the matches are going to be. So Bayley is going to face Asuka first, and then Sasha's going to finish off Asuka yet again. So that's how the order is going to be.
You could just feel the tension building up. Hopefully this is where it happens. I don't know how, but hopefully it happens.
Oh yeah, we kind of forgot to mention that on SmackDown, Bayley, when she was talking about last week's match against Asuka, she was like, nothing important was on the line anyway, like, you know? And that pissed off Sasha.
Yeah.
After that promo, Shayna and Asuka came out, and we saw some partnership that we did not expect.
At all, but these 2 women are badasses. And I'm like, oh yeah, Team Badass, or like something cool name here.
Is it safe to say that Shayna almost had a face turn, or is she's at least in the tweener territory?
Yeah, I agree, for sure.
I loved this Shayna.
Me too. So good. This like was an elevated Shayna.
Oh hell yeah. Like, she was so cool, and it was kind of surreal seeing her like running the ropes and stuff like that. She was so badass. Shayna turned face, or tweener, was exactly what I needed from her.
Yeah, who would ever thought, right? Because I don't think she will for sure like be like super face, like yay, slap hands. But I kind of like this whole like demeanor, like let's just get these annoying people out of the way type of thing. So
yeah. And Nia Jax came in. She attacked Shayna Baszler.
That surprised me. I didn't see that coming.
You know what was really funny? Pet Buck.
I thought
with the freaking hot pink pants.
That's the first thing I noticed was his pants. I'm like, what is he wearing?
It is so clear that guy's in it for himself. Let's be honest.
Totally. They should just have them wrestle each other already.
Oh my, so annoying. Nia Jax came in, broke the plexiglass.
I mean, that was cool. It was kind of intense, but this did lead up to the finish. Okay, this doesn't make any sense. Oh my gosh. How is one referee gonna call a disqualification for somebody interfering in a match that doesn't even have to do with them? And then this referee, somebody in the match, gets attacked. It's like, whatever. Y'all can do it. No, it what now? Whatever, keep going. I mean, everything else was fine. I kind of like this whole like Nia breaking the plexiglass. That was kind of cool. It gives her a little bit more intensity. I love what she was wearing. She looked great, but I just couldn't concentrate on anything else because of that.
You know what? I understood it as because they were like giving a preview of what the SummerSlam's going to look like, because they're saying that on SummerSlam, basically Asuka's going to compete in like the handicap match. So I think this is like a preview of SummerSlam. So I was like, okay, they willfully ignored the rules.
But I am glad they're not dropping the whole Nia Shayna storyline just yet. So we'll see what happens with that.
And you know what? Not to be shady, but even when Nia was breaking the plexiglass, it was just like, you could have done it a little more intense.
Yeah.
But the moment she started brawling with Shayna, I think because Shayna is the one that Nia can just go at it without feeling that she's going to hurt someone, I think it looked super intense. So like feuding with Shayna is going to immensely help Nia Jax.
I think so too. It's a great matchup if they really want some more intensity and some more badassery from her. That's a great person too for her to learn from.
But you know, speaking of payback, you know how like Bayley and Sasha's going to have a tag team match. I have a little weird feeling that it's going to be Shayna and Asuka that's going to challenge them for the title.
And they're going to probably win. Oh my gosh. That'd be crazy. I mean, anything can happen now.
Anyway, so this kind of continues into Raw Underground where Marina Shafir and... Wait, we should do the whole thing.
Yes, that's what I was waiting for.
The other two.
That's the first thing I thought of when I saw him. I'm like, I can't wait to say the other two.
So Marina and Jessamine Duke debuted on Raw backstage first, and then Marina hit it in Raw Underground, and she looked so good.
This is their element. This is what they're good at. They're mixed martial arts. They're not used to hitting cable ropes. Like they're used to grappling on the mat. So this is exactly where they should excel at. And I want more of this. Like, and when I saw Raw Underground too, I'm like, this is a perfect time for like Shayna and the other two to shine because this is what they know. And then even with the dudes version of it, I like how they keep on getting like the mat wrestlers, the amateur wrestlers, because it gives it that grittiness. So I want to see the other two and Shayna more in this environment for sure, because I feel like they'll give them more of a personality, and then you're able to see. I think a lot of times with WWE, they tell you people are badass, but I think in this instance, you'll actually get to see that they're badass.
And I'm actually excited for the first time seeing this from them. So they definitely succeeded. Yeah.
For sure. Like, this is exactly what they needed to, like, kick, especially if they're going to be on Raw or with Shayna a little bit more. This is a great way to be introduced because maybe a lot of people don't know who they are, or maybe they saw them just being an extras in the background in the audience. So this is a great way to really introduce them and get to know who they are, what they can do, and they look great. I want more of this for sure.
And even the possibility of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler in Underground, I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, if it means Nia being more intense, I'm here for it.
Let's talk about last match, Ruby Riott versus Peyton Royce for a little bit.
Why do they keep on doing this? More time or don't? Like, this does nothing for any of them.
They're in a limbo. They're doing the same thing every single week.
Ruby Riott started off hot. This match started off hot. I really liked the standing STO that she gave. But then just when it got going, it's over. Like, I wanted a little bit more. And the whole, like, her pushing Liv into Ruby again. I don't know. They need the tag titles. This storyline needs the tag titles. Or
we say this every week. It's just like the tag title. I mean, the whole concept of championship, yes, it is given to the best people with the best ability. But at the same time, it's a storyline device. The championship can create the entire division, an entire storyline around. Definitely, tag division needs this. And this Riot Squad and Iconics not doing anything, doing the same thing every week is a testament to that they are hurting their tag division by having it all on one one team.
I totally agree. Then, like, it will help move the storyline a little bit more. It will give them a little bit more time. I don't know. They could have some really good matches because all four of them can go, and I love to see Liv because she's improved so much. We haven't really seen that, but
nevertheless, we've got a lot of things happening leading up to SummerSlam. I really like SummerSlam. Last year's SummerSlam was so poppin' with Trish Stratus versus Charlotte. Becky and Natalya match was so amazing, so I hope this SummerSlam gets really interesting. I mean, I have a lot of hopes for it. What about you?
I do too. I mean, SummerSlam is one of the big four pay-per-views, so it's always the biggest party of the summer, like WWE always likes to say, but they always deliver really good matches, and I'm really excited to see the whole Thunderdome idea and seeing what they're gonna incorporate and what it's gonna look like. I like how it's gonna have a whole different vibe and look, so it can kind of feel like that elevated show, like the bigger deal show. So I'm excited for it. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of storylines going on with the women wise, so we'll see what happens.
We're also gonna enjoy our SummerSlam all together with Joey and Moxie at Moxie's little pool party.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Live streaming from over there.
I know.
Together in cute little swimsuits.
Yes.
Well, at least I am. I mean, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will too, DS.
But also this weekend we have an important announcement we're going to have about the channel, so please tune in. It will be a fun time. The biggest party of the summer with less than 10 people, everyone.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to be outdoors, so hey.
So Paloma, where can we find you?
You can find me at Paloma Star on Instagram and Twitter. And DS, where can we find you at?
You can find me at DS Shin and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter, and our Mickie James interview is coming out soon this week, so check out for that too. All right, bye.